Okay, so I think we can start now. Hi everyone, welcome to Mau Reading Club for this week. So, as usual, we're going to start with the house rule first. So, Mau, short for Monsters Among Us, is a group of youth that empowers children and survivors of child sexual abuse through a myriad of programs such as advocacy, education, and community involvement in hope to pave a safer way for childhood. In line with 2020 Sustainable Development Goals of quality education and gender equality, Mau Reading Club is an avenue for all youth in and out of Malaysia to discuss and ponder upon important issues relating to us. Treat this reading club as your safe space because we practice no judgments and prejudice towards anyone out there. For the purpose of ensuring our reading session to run smoothly while safeguarding everyone's comfort, Ma would truly appreciate it if we can adhere to the house rules below. So first, respect. When you are not talking, please mute the microphone by turning it off so that the session will not be interrupted by weird noises. Ma wishes for everyone to please be respectful of others, especially in discussing a certain topic or subject. Please be mindful of others when they are speaking by interjecting politely, and we would appreciate it if everyone can join the session by using their names or nicknames so that we can properly address each other. Next, participate and engage. We welcome everyone who wishes to speak up during the session either by asking questions or sharing their inputs. We do not tolerate discrimination and harassment on one's sexual orientation, belief, and preferences. We reserve the rights to remove you from the club. We welcome differences in ideas, opinions, and views because we understand that each and every one of us has different foundations that shape us on how we see things. We also understand if you are not comfortable to speak by using the microphone, so do type it out in the chat box. Everyone deserves to be heard, and this is a fun session. No one has to use a huge jargons if you do not want to. Lastly, consent and privacy. This session will be recorded. If any of you feel discomfortable about it, you can inform us. Our YouTube channel will be in the meeting description. Please ask first before you want to record anything from the session for whatever purposes. Some may be a camera shy, which is totally fine and understandable. Please do not quote anything from the session without getting permission from the sayer. It is okay if you wish not to show your face by turning the video off because it is your face, so you get to choose what to do with it. Last but not least, enjoy the session to your heart's content. We hope everyone will get something from this session. So for today's session, we are going to do a book review and the movie review. And the movie that we will be reviewing, titled The Kid's Detective. Yeah, The Kid Detective by Muhammad S. Fikri, or we can call him Fikri. He is a lawyer and based in Penang, and he also was a freelance writer, novelist. He is also an IIUM track and field coach. He's a musician and a songwriter, and a social critic, and also advocate and solicitor of the High Court of Malaya. So I think without wasting any time, we're inviting Fikri to take on the mic.
Thank you, Ashira, for the introduction.
Welcome.
Uh, so, first of all, I would like to congratulate Mao and his members for pursuing this cause. I see that this cause is getting more and more traction with your representative appearing in the mainstream media, and I congratulate you guys for that, and hope that there will be more and more engagement with the mainstream media. So we go on with the movie Kid Detective. So I got to know that some have not yet watched the movie. So I'm going to spoil it because I have to in order for this session to be relevant in relation to the issues that is brought by Mao. So first of all, we start with the title, Kid Detective. So when we heard about the title, is mainly is Disney-esque, the term it, Disney, resemblance of a Disney kind of movie, family movie. And the movie starts with that kind of vibe, 60s soundtrack, Nancy Sinatra. It's all good vibes. But the first scene, we could see a girl going back to his home, walking alone. And then a car approaches. And then usually when a car approaches you, you would run away or you'll be suspicious. But if you look at the first scene, the girl moved towards the car. And then it transitioned to the beginning of the story of the main character with his ape. So that's a good, they call it transition. When it comes to cinematography, they call it decoupage. Decoupage. I don't know how to pronounce it. So it transition. We don't know what happened, but maybe it's something substantial. So and then we move on to the main character, Abe. Abe is a kid detective. So he solved petty crimes like who stole your lunchbox and stuff. And then one of the big major mystery that he solved was the fundraising money. He found out who stole it. So after that, he became a small town. That small town regard him as a hero. He could solve all these mysteries. He solved more than 100 mysteries, these petty mysteries. And then because of that, he became a child hero in that small town. The town gave him an office to conduct his investigations. So yeah, he was, and you could see if you watch the movie, you could see based on the texture of the film or texture of the picture, when the flashback, the picture is more saturated, more the temperature is warmer to give out this like glory and joyful vibe. And then it cut out to the present. The present, 20 years later, Abe, who was a kid detective prodigy, is still be regarded as kid detective, solving these petty crimes. After 20 years, still solving who stole this neighbor's cat, those petty crimes after 20 years. Why? Why? Because they assume why he did not move on in pursuing his path as a detective to more serious crimes because he was haunted. Because the transition in the sense that his secretary named Gracie, yeah, yeah. You could see the current when it comes to Abe being 30-year-old, the color is unsaturated to give out this more moody indie kind of vibe. So and then why he's still involved in these petty crimes? Why he was a child prodigy? Supposedly he would do more serious crimes. He would investigate more serious crime. Why? Is because the girl in the first scene was kidnapped while he was and that girl was his secretary. He has a secretary, and this girl, his secretary, a girl close to him, was kidnapped. And the small town, the community, put hopes on him to solve this crime. But 20 years has passed, nobody solved that crime yet. So the story started with Abe showing his flashback, what he did during his childhood, and then the current Abe still solving his petty crimes. And it's a really funny movie when you talk about the comic delivery is dry humor. Dry humor means that you say or act something funny, but without exhibiting or displaying any emotions. And it's very funny. For instance, like um, he have a client and he asked his secretary, "Can you get a water bottle?" And the secretary was like, "We don't have a water bottle. Can you go buy one? I need to go down at the 7-Eleven shop to buy one." Yeah, go do that. It's dry humor. It doesn't show emotions, and it's funny in that sense. And throughout the movie, most part of the movie, it provides that kind of vibe, funny and mysterious. You find it out. So the child was kidnapped. That is the first mystery, and the second mystery, he got a big break when he was 30. When he was 30, a high school girl came to him with a big case, a case of murder. Her boyfriend just got murdered. Her girlfriend told him he was stabbed 17 times, and he was like, oh, this is a real case. This case could change his prospect, because it is the first big case that he's handling, a murder. So the girl that this girlfriend whose boyfriend got killed, the name is Caroline. So he, if you look at criminal investigation, if you have criminal lawyers here, when you watch CSI, when you have a murder, you first thing is the timeline, when the person died, and then second thing is the crime scene, where, and the third is the murder weapon, and the fourth is the act lah, 17 times of stabbing by 17, murder by 17 times stab, and then but Abe is not a normal criminal investigator, so he didn't do all this for. He just interviewed the person close to the victim, to this boyfriend that was killed. So he first he went to the parents' house, and the parents was like, you qualified to solve this murder? And then the main thing to take in regards to this scene is that the parents, Abe was suspicion that this this boyfriend is involved in drug abuse, or with drug trafficking. Why he suspected this? Because he found a drug in his sweater. So the main investigation right now, the main direction is drug abuse, drug trafficking. The boy is involved in this. So he portrayed he depict this situation to his parents, and after that the parents, like any other parents, deny their kid is very don't do this kind of stuff, because the kid is what they call it, a student, a student. So he don't do this kind of stuff, and then and then after that he go to the next person. The next person would be the boyfriend's best friend, the victim best friend, and the victim best friend told him that yeah, he did do this drug and stuff, and and he even cheat on his girlfriend. Yeah, and then the girlfriend was shocked. The girlfriend was with him. He cheated on his girlfriend. So we could see that the depiction of this victim from like an A student, but now, oh, he's a drug abuser, drug trafficker, and now a cheater. Why is a cheater? The close friend of this victim, told the detective Abe and Caroline, the girlfriend, that oh, he cheat with a prostitute. How did he know this? Because he saw a picture of a naked girl in his in his what in his locker. So um so the direction is that this boy is bad. Nobody knows. The girlfriend do not know. The parents do not know. But he is involved in drug abuse, drug trafficking, and he cheats. He cheats on his girlfriend. So right after that, Abe investigate whether he's really is a drug abuser or drug trafficker, or this cheater. So like first mentioned about drug trafficking, he did traffic drugs. This victim did traffic drugs. Because why he traffic drugs? Because he's an A student. It's easier for him because no one suspected him. So second is cheat. So I told you just now, there's a picture, a naked picture of a girl in his locker, but it went to his locker. The picture was gone. So his assistant looked up in Instagram and found the description of the friend similar to the description, a picture in Instagram that is similar to the description of his friend. So he looked into this person in Instagram and talked to her, and it's true, he did cheat. He did cheat with this prostitute, wearing a mask and that this is the person that he cheated with, the same person in the picture, the naked picture. So three things. So we could conclude that this victim, he have some bad friends that could have a motive to kill him, by stabbing 17 times. Right after that, you could see that Abe having problem with his own. Yeah. So so after that, okay, we have set the mood. So right now we could see the investigation is murder, and a murder investigation. So after he conclude that, he tried again to investigate more in his friend that told him about this girlfriend, this new girl, the girl that he cheated on. So he broke into his house. He broke into his house to find some evidence, and he found a letter stating that, or this apparently that this guy, this friend was likes the girlfriend, the Caroline, the boyfriend's, the victim's girlfriend. So it turned out that, or maybe what he said, what his illustration of what happened could be construed as one-sided because he was trying to lie or some sort. So after that, he realized that he was in his home doing some investigation. He got caught in his house because he was hiding at his the daughters, the sisters' room. So we could see some dry humor here because usually when he was a child, he did the same thing. He would broke into a house to investigate, and then he would hide in the closet. And then when you're a child, when people find you, it doesn't seem that it's not something wrong. But when you do that, when you're 30 years old, you're in a kid's bed, a girls bedroom, and you're 30 years old. You were in the closet, and you got caught. So the investigation crippled at that point of time because he was scrutinized by the society, because there's an article after that Abe was caught masturbating in the closet because he was in kids the girls bedroom. So you could see the dry humor there. Yeah, it's just a rumor. Yeah, right, yeah. So things take a step back because of that, because he stopped investigating, because people he's delving into his own problem. Now the society scrutinize him, do not respect him, so he stopped for a while. Then after that, caroline still seek assurance from this Abe to find this murderer, and Abe, to a certain extent, just conclude that it's the boyfriend's best friend that did it. But it's quite impossible for a child to do that lah. So, but one main issue that one evidence that raised during this scene is that Caroline still getting an origami flowers, in which Caroline thought was from his boyfriend, but she's still getting the flowers. So it couldn't be her boyfriend, and and Abe conclude that it is the boyfriend's best friend that gave him this origami flower. But then something struck his mind that, hey, this origami flower looks familiar. So let's go back for a while. Maybe I fast forward for too much. So in the school, there's a principal. There's a principal in the school. So the principal has a great relationship with this Abe. So Abe confide in him, and the principal also confide in Abe. So when he found the flower, that was one of the evidence that leads to the realization that who is the murderer, the origami flower. I will explain why. And the second thing that makes him realize who is the murderer is that he was in a bar and he was talking to the bartender. And the bartender told him that he was venting that he was being punched by these high school high school friends, when this high school friends is the other person where he victimized during he was in high school. And the bartender told him that he's not the guy. You see, the first thing that I mentioned earlier is that he solved these petty crimes, and there's always a victim lah to these crimes, and most one of it, he caught the wrong person. So from this revelation, he found out who could be the murderer. First, the origami flower, and second is the realization that he caught the wrong guy during the time when he was a child detective. So he combined these two to find out who is the murderer. And at this point of time, I still do not know who is the murderer. But then he went to this murderer's house. I still don't know who. How lah? Not there's only two person. The friend, the boyfriend friend, or the drug group that he was involved with lah. The only two consideration that I still consider during that point of time. And then he went into the house to investigate. He went into the house, don't know whose house, still do not know whose house. And then at that house, he looked into the drawers and stuff, and he found a box. And he found a box. He opened the box and found out it's a picture of a girl naked. A picture of a girl naked that is described by the boy's friend's best friend. That was the girl that the boy was cheated on. So he has a suspicion that he's in the right house. But I still don't know whose house is this. And then he found out that, and then he heard footsteps. He heard footsteps. He hide. Usually he would hide, like I said, in the closet, but he hide beneath the bedroom, beneath the apa tak apa bedroom ah.
Bed.
Beneath the bed, yeah, beneath the bedroom, beneath the bed. And then the guy come in and say, "Hey, come out of the closet." And huh? Come out of the closet. And I was like, oh, he kenal Abe lah ni, because he knows that Abe always hide in the closet. I was like, siapa ni? And then Abe pun, oh, I'm not in the closet, I'm under the bed. Dry humor, maybe tak tahu, tengok lah, okay. And then so he come out. We didn't see his face yet. And then he stand up and he saw it's the principal of the school. And we could relate from the beginning why the girl approached the car, because it's a person that he knew. sorry. So it's why the girl approached the car is because it's a person that someone he knew. So it's okay. We don't know. Right now at this point of time, Abe still under suspicion only. We do not know. And then we could see another decoupage, the transition. We didn't see that Abe and the principal are walking down to the dining table. It transitioned from that scene to the dining table. Abe was sitting opposite of the principal, and we could see there's three facts here. There's only one fact lah, one piece of evidence that could relate, which is the picture. Why he possessed the picture of a naked girl, in which he was in the possession of the boyfriend's closet, in the boyfriend's closet. So that's one. There's only one piece of evidence. How can you suspect that this guy is the murderer? So they sat down in the dining table, and this is, many people suggest, is an abrupt revelation. But to me, it's quite overwhelming, in a sense. They create it that way. In 3 minutes, they revealed everything. First, the principal asked Abe, "How do you know?" And Abe told him that, yeah, I have suspicion that the flower, the origami flower that I told earlier, is the same origami flower that the person earlier that was kidnapped have. There's a secret admirer keep giving this origami flower. And the same origami flower is also with Caroline. So now we cannot relate yet. Okay, it's okay. So now we know that fact, and Abe says, Abe didn't say anything. The first thing that the principal said, yeah, I killed that person. I killed the boyfriend. Why? The question is why. The question is why. Itu nanti pula. Okay. So first, killed the boyfriend 17 times. So when you kill by stabbing 17 times, it means that you're a psychopath.
Yeah.
Meaning it's a psychopath. So Abe was shaking, started. He couldn't believe because he was at first. So he only had a suspicion of it. So first, he admitted that he's the one who committed the murder. And second, there's one of the team murder. And second, that why he kidnapped is because Caroline is his son, is his daughter. Caroline is his daughter. Macam, oh, okay, Caroline is your daughter. Oh, and then you thought that the naked picture is Caroline. That is the reason why the principal murdered the boyfriend. Because he thought the naked picture is Caroline. Why you kept a naked photo of my daughter? But nobody knows the principal have a daughter. So that's the second revelation. Oh, he have a daughter, and that's the reason. And third revelation is it was still suspicious. He was still shaking, overwhelmed by this revelation. It turned out that the kid, Caroline, is the daughter of the girl that was being kidnapped by him. The principal kidnapped the girl in the first scene. That is the reason why the girl approached the car. The girl, the name is Gracie, was kidnapped by the principal. Nobody knew. 20 years, this after 20 years. So we're talking about kidnap. So murder, kidnap, child of wedlock. And then fifth is that we don't know what happened to the girl who was being kidnapped for 20 years. After he revealed everything in just 3 minutes, he touched all these dark themes: murder, rape, kidnap. I don't know lah. Nanti korang list down. All these dark themes in just 3 minutes. He was being nonchalant. He was being just calm, just admitting all this fault. And he, this is one of the point that I have to point out is that he justified that why he did this is because the girl that he was kidnapped, because she was being she's flirting with him. The girl that she kidnapped earlier, the girl, she was flirting with him. That's the reason why he kidnapped her. He justified to Abe. Abe was still shocking. And the ending is suicide. So Abe was thinking, this is going to be the end for him. The principal going to kill him. But instead, the principal killed himself. Yeah. In front of Abe. So there's a sixth dark issue that we will address: suicide. Because he could not handle the fact that people have the knowledge that he did this kind of things. He's a principal, a man of authority and responsibility kan. So after that habis lah. So habis lah. Semua dah selesai. We know who killed her. We know who kidnapped the other girl. We know, Caroline is a child out of wedlock. Memang she do not have parents. We know everything. But then Abe went to the fridge. The film go step darker. Went to the fridge and opened up and saw a favorite drink of the secretary, the girl that was being kidnapped. So this drink, the soda, the person that only likes this soda is the girl. So he knows that the girl is still alive. So he went out, and there's a 300 square foot cabin, right? So he opened up the cabin, the girl is still there for 20 years, being abused, kidnapped, excluded from the society for 20 years. He was overwhelmed, shocked. He called the mother and told the news that he found her. So you could see the beginning is all about murder. And we was thinking about this this victim, this mesti did something wrong lah, apalah. But instead, he was just in the wrong place in the wrong time. He date this girl who happened to be a child of this kidnapper, rapist, and sorts. So the movie ends like that. So the majority of the movie is very fun. There's a lot of comic relief, but these 3 minutes, it's only 3 minutes where all this revelation, this dark, they call it dark Noah-esque themes, they call it. So that's the ending of the story. I hope you guys like it. And we were talking about the themes. And first theme is that it's about it's about rape, and rape by the person who is who the victim may trust, right? Because I see that the statistics say 95% of this abuser of sorts are the person who they trust, right? Yeah. So I want who to elaborate. Ashura, okay, how's my how's my storytelling what they call it? Storytelling, how's my storytelling?
Well, I, as a person that haven't watched the movie, and then I only listen to how you sampaikan the
Yeah,
story,
yeah.
I would say it's actually great. Because like I mean like well, of course, bila kita bercerita, of course lah, there are certain parts yang kita macam agak bercampur, macam tertukar sana tertukar sini kan, ataupun macam
Mm,
confusing, but I
mm,
think like you manage to deliver the movie punya message or the movie punya theme
mm.
directly lah.
Okay, okay.
And the movie itself is actually uh it sounds confusing, but it's mind blowing at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, correct, correct.
Yeah, so I have to watch it. I'll watch it after this.
Yeah, by the way, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, I already looked through just now. So okay, I'll watch it later.
Yeah, but yeah, so let's talk about the themes. Frizana, talk about the kidnapping. And first, when we talk about the kidnapping, is the realization that they stopped looking for this girl. There was no hope for this girl to be. Yeah, there was no hope for this girl because when you be kidnapped for 1 year, you're still hoping. But it's been 20 years. There's no reason to hope. So yeah, fail. Being raped and being abused for this prolonged of time and being secluded from society.
Actually, the occurrence of kidnapping and actually holding the victim for hostage for years is
Hmm.
a common crime in the US. And
Hmm.
actually, banyak je cases yang that was discovered a few years ago. There were like a repeating trend where we see men all men like in this case this principal
Principal.
yang
Hmm.
memang found uh, caught with a girl locked up in a cabin ke atau under basement. So macam when I mean like if kita kat Malaysia kita jarang dengar yang benda ni. Tapi if
Hmm.
you look to like different countries like the US and also there was a recent case dekat UK, it's not too like shocking lah because it does happen. Like memang people akan kidnap and dia akan use the girl like contohnya like untuk sex like sebagai sex slave atau jadikan apa sampai beranak pinak and then sampai the girl tak boleh nak assimilate balik dalam society. A movie that you guys can relate this issue of kidnapping and holding them hostage for years and years. Movie tu another movie called Room.
Oh.
And Room, the movie Room was derived from a book, tak silap I. And I'm not sure, I tak ingat if it's a true story or not, but it was from a book. Tak silap I, tajuk dia Room. So memang bila I tengok cerita the key detective, it wasn't terlalu macam ni macam tak logic. It's very logic because it did happen. So yeah, that's my feedback on that point. I don't want to talk more. Yang lain, okay, we have a lot of people talking in the chat. You can layan
Yeah,
dorang.
so I think Mahira, I nak bagi soalan Mahira satu lah. Apa nama dia? So the principle is a principle, meaning that dia sound mind lah, dia intelligent, dia ni semua. Tapi you can kill a person by stabbing 17 times, meaning that dia taklah sound mind. So how do we identify a person that is normal but have this kind of ability? Or you psychology kan, Mahira?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I think dia manipulative kot. Tak tahu lah.
Kena describe more lah, Mahira.
Alamak, salah. Kan tengok the movie first.
Tak. Okay, describe. Okay, kalau boleh ke a person yang looks normal, sounds normal, but have this dark secret?
Of course boleh. I bagi ada secret sendiri kan.
Mungkin untuk menambah baik soalan ini, mungkin menggunakan latar belakang Mahira dengan psikologi kan, like macam mana orang yang appear normal boleh ada macam dark side, like normally sebab apa? What do you think? Itu soalan saya kepada student psikologi kita, like based on your psychology knowledge lah kan.
I think
People
dia
have
ada
dark
split
side,
personality kot.
Oh,
that's one
Could be.
split personality.
betul, an interesting point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys aware of the Ted Bundy case?
Yeah, I belajar pasal dia.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's also a very like common. Yeah. So I wanted to bring up pasal Ted Bundy yang Iza mentioned pasal childhood trauma. So many of these people yang appear normal but have like really dark sides pun due to unhealed childhood trauma lah. Because Ted Bundy himself was raised in a really abusive environment. So yeah.
So kita pergi Aina. Siapa yang nak tanya soalan? Ada satu soalan ialah kenapa the principal commit suicide? Why he didn't kill Abe? Munira, cepat Munira. I bagi Munira lah. Nak tidur dah Munira. Munira tak buka dia punya earphone.
Munira killing two birds with one stone malam ni.
Kita bagi Iza.
Boleh tanya Iza.
Astaghfirullahaladzim, menyesal typing.
Itulah.
Menyesal buat rasa macam I wujud dalam ni.
Iza, why Iza?
Patut I diam je. Kenapa? Apa soalan you?
Kenapa dia bunuh diri?
Kenapa dia bunuh diri? Aduh.
Dia boleh je bunuh Abe, bukan siapa tahu.
Sebab saya tak ada dalam cerita tu lah, saya tak tahu kan.
Dia punya scope dia macam ni. Dia commit this ni, kidnapping ni semua. Tapi until that point of time, tak ada siapa tahu. But now Abe tahu. Sebab Abe tahu dia terus nak bunuh diri. Mungkin sebab apa?
I don't know, sebab dia tak nak pecah tembelang kot.
Tak nak Abe cerita lah kan. Tapi dia patut bunuh Abe lah. Tu dia patut bunuh Abe. I ingat dia nak bunuh Abe lah. Abe pun ingat dia nak dibunuh lah. Kan?
I ada research tau. I masuk Google Meet ni kan. Masa nanti kau tengok lah, nanti aku tak buat kerja nak tengok cerita tu. Sebab I'm just so curious macam, yelah sebab you kan cerita macam berdasarkan you punya point of view pun semua, dan you macam summarize semua kan. So I nak tengok betul-betul ada feel macam I masuk the movie. Tengoklah tak buat research tu, kau tengok.
Okay, nanti tengoklah The Kid Detective. This kind of movie dia orang panggil the independent movie ya, independent movie. So independent movie atau B-grade movie kan. Because he doesn't want to bear the burden of tarnishing his reputation as a principal. Yeah, I pun agree with Aina lah. Sebab dia tak boleh live with that fact. Yeah. And Netflix kadang-kadang kita tengok banyak keluar trending now kan. Mungkin kita boleh tengok yang independent movies juga. But itulah macam Kid Detective ni, I was searching for like movies like of whodunit, typical whodunit. A great typical whodunit movie is the new Knives Out. I think you guys have watched Knives Out, right? It's just a typical whodunit movie. Who is the murderer? But now there's this kind of movie has a twist. It's not just a murder. There's a kidnapping. There's a twist. So independent movies, they call it as B-rated movies. So a lot of they could touch on Noah-esque themes, and that's quite macam could be relevant towards your course and your studies and in relation to child abuse and stuff. I have a question. Why did Abe react the way he did in the end? Ni aku ni yang nak jawab. And then dia tanya kat I. So at the end, Abe cried. And it was like, so when there's this kind of ending, he cried and then the movie ends. And they call it nuance in film critic terms. Nuance is like, oh, the movie does not lack in nuance because they leave something ambiguous. Why did he cry? So yeah, that's the answer. The movie does not lack in nuance. That's why he cried. To give us a certain assumptions, to make assumptions on what our own interpretation would be. Why did he cry? But to me, kenapa dia cry is because kalau tidak dia dah give up lah on finding his best friend ni. Tapi disebabkan this girl yang brought up this murder case, barulah dia jumpa this kidnapper. Kalau tidak dia takkan jumpa sebab dia dah give up. And the kidnapper make a mistake lah by murdering this guy. Kalau tidak, nobody knows. Yeah, overwhelmed. Betul? Correct. Okay, so Mahira pun tak biasa tengok, Ashura tak tengok, Izzah pun tak tengok. Lain kali bila buat movie review, mau tulis, please watch on Netflix first. Movie review. Don't spoil, don't cerita the ending. How to not cerita the ending? 3 minutes je to discuss all the issues, the issues that is related to your organization. Okay, alright. Okay, that's all for me. I leave the floor to Ashura Nazli.
Okay, thank you so much, Fikri. The movie review, I mean, everyone was so excited about it. So I would say it's a very good feedback lah, kan? Macam everyone, well, at least from among like 10 people in here, okay, let's say 9 lah sebab Fikri obviously dah tengok kan. Fir pun dah tengok kan? Okay, so let's say around like 8 people dalam ni, at least like 3 of us definitely nak tengok dah. Definitely akan tengok after this. So that's a good feedback already. So I don't have to elaborate more. Even though you told us the spoiler, the ending, we still macam no, I don't care, nak tengok juga. Still nak tengok. So yeah. Also, I don't think this is a question. I think this is more of like my point of view before watching. Like Fikri said lah, kenapa dia bunuh diri instead of dia bunuh Abe? Wouldn't it be easier if he just killed Abe? Okay, one of us, siapa yang tadi cakap because okay, Aina said because he didn't want to bear the burden of tarnishing his reputation. Tapi Abe didn't tell anyone yet. Maksudnya, even if he killed Abe, his reputation still takkan terjejas. He could have just killed Abe.
Betul?
Kan? So macam
one point yang penting ialah Abe hanya ada suspicion. Dia tak tahu betul lagi tau. The principal admitted, oh yeah, I killed him. Oh yeah, I kidnapped her.
See, that's the turning point, I would say. Yang macam kenapa instead, you know? So, okay, that is yeah. Also because you told it from your point of view. Maybe we have to watch it first and then kita tengok from our point of view.
Yeah, I think you would provide different interpretation because it's they call it nuance. There's a lot of interpretation. It's ambiguous in certain point, and because of the transition they do, they kopach and a lot of things we have to fill in the dots because like the kidnapping, like movies on kidnap, they show the girl being kidnapped.
Yeah.
But there's nothing in that sort. There's no action in this movie. The action is just he's hiding in the closet, like behind Mahira, tengok ada orang ke tak. So that's the action. No action in this movie except the suicide lah. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Kid Detective. So make sure everyone yang belum tengok, and then maybe we can once again discuss it again or something like that. Anyone else wants to add anything? Like a question or comment, maybe kalau yang macam if anyone yang dah buat Google search and then found anything else wants to add anything, feel free. We still have like 10 minutes. Fir, ada apa-apa ke? Okay. So, should we wrap it now? Okay. So, thank you so much everyone for joining our session for tonight. Next week is not going to be a movie or book review anymore, but if you guys have anyone or even you guys wants to do any review, you guys can just hit anyone from us, among us, maybe like Fir or Mahira or me, if you guys have my contact number, and just tell me that you guys want to do anything, any review, want to talk about any review lah. Link dekat Beacons. Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much for joining, and don't forget our session, our reading club session is every Friday 9 p.m. Okay, so thank you so much everyone for joining. Thank you Fikri so much. Okay.
See you.
Okay, see you. You guys may leave the meeting now. Bye.
Aina Anif ni nak kena ni. Aina Anif. Munira pun sama. I tanya leave me hanging. Munira? Nanti kenduri Munira